everybody? Welcome back. It's that time again. Another episode of the Jagged Edge, number 93 for us. Ian here along with Chris.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello, hello. Man, March Madness for real.
Yeah.
We're in the midst of it here, both for movies and gaming. It's a busy time. Busy time. I think it's an understatement right now.
I just want to say, why can't we have an even-handed week? Either things are like super suck, or things are awesome. This is an awesome week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Generally speaking, lots of awesome, great stuff came out. Most of it, not all of it, most of it though. Lots of great stuff came out this week though.
Right.
Which is a good note to leave on because this is our last Jagged Edge for 2 weeks, which basically 3 weeks.
Pretty much the
month. Yeah, the rest of the month, we've got. I'm really busy next week with let's see, Isaac, who does a lot of stuff here. He's got a movie coming out. He was the writer and director for it, for a small indie film, and I will be going to the release of that. We'll be doing an interview for that. I'll be interviewing Isaac for that as well.
Cool.
You know, we'll see if we can get a couple things up on our social media related to that. But then the following week, you're going to be gone. You're going to be at PAX East.
Yes.
And we'll be doing some kind of coverage for that as well. So no Jagged Edge for the next couple of weeks after this one. So, but yeah.
Yeah, for now though, it's funny because I know we had some times near the start of this year where it was just like nothing. Maybe this will come out. TBA. Yeah, here's everything.
Yeah, everything's dropping right now. Thank you. Thank you. We'll get it out of the way now before April because my life is gone in April. Starting in mid-April, it's done.
Mortal Kombat.
With Mortal Kombat, World War Z, Days Gone. These are happy problems, but they are problems.
Yeah.
So it'll be a lot of stuff.
Love it.
But speaking of lots of stuff,
right here at the top of our list, here it is. We got the latest trailer for Avengers Endgame. Do yourselves a favor if you haven't seen this, go check it out. Again, this is in theaters April 26th. Been seeing Mr. Thor, Chris Hemsworth, do some funny tweets about this. He not tweets, I'm sorry. I saw he had an Instagram post about it. He was saying, yeah, just a side project I worked on with a couple friends, just
a little thing.
Yes, thing. Here you go. Trailer for, Endgame, no problem. But, we started this run of trailers with very loose hints of some of the events and the aftermath to come. But this is really starting to put a lot of things in concrete focus. Of course, we've got some flashbacks on what has made Marvel what it is up to this point, why this movie is so significant,
Yeah, so I'd kind of like to try to go through the trailer in order,
sure,
as they appear here. So you get some black and white, some flashbacks with Iron Man and Captain America, and I think that's significant that they're focused mainly on them because I think those are the two that we're not going to be seeing after this movie anymore.
Right.
At least with Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. They did this in the Super Bowl trailer as well, where it was black and white with the exception of the color red. You had some distinct red colors poking through. I'm not even to the point where I want to guess why they're making red significant. Do you have any idea? I mean, it could be as simple as that seems to be the primary color for, Marvel's logo.
Could be.
That could be it. It could be pointing towards something in the film. Do you have any ideas? Do you have any guesses?
No. As far as some specific giveaway or something we can expect or whatever else beats me, man.
And I'm going through it here, and I'm wondering if they're showing because for the Super Bowl trailer they did this with all the character deaths, all the hero deaths that we saw.
Right.
And I'm looking at these flashbacks now with Tony Stark and Captain America. I don't think we see any. No, there is some red in there, even during these flashbacks, not just during the character deaths. So,
right.
I wonder if they're pointing towards something greater there. That's really interesting. But then we get to start seeing more of the story. And one of the first things they show us Hawkeye teaching somebody how to use a bow and arrow. And I don't believe that's one of his kids. I think that's either going to be, this could be a nod or this could be something significant. I think that's Kate Bishop, who ends up becoming the new Hawkeye. And I think to this day still is. I also think this scene out in some kind of wide park area is, I think is going to be the scene where we actually see his family, most if not all of them, actually turn to dust. I think that's what we're looking at.
Right.
Maybe her as well.
Yeah.
But I mean that's what I caught when I saw them. Like, oh my God, they're gonna look at that. They're out having a good time. He's teaching somebody bow and arrow. They're having a picnic, and
that's, I mean, that's been our long running theory about Hawkeye. What would set him out, on a path like that? Why would he be the way he was, down to, the whole title Ronin and everything? And I said the only thing I could think of is his guy's family's gone. I mean,
right.
he took off the team because he wanted, to get back that downtime and, back off things. But yeah, obviously things have changed. So
No, yeah, that's half of everything changed.
yeah,
Yeah, then they get into some more scenes about them talking about it. Captain America's like, well, we can't move on, and you get Ant-Man looking at a poster. It looks like he's just getting back into the world and seeing what's happened. You get that scene of him in front of that house. There's a lot of growth, a lot of natural growth on the house.
Yeah.
They're talking a lot about how this is going to go on through the years. And even in the trailer, you got Black Widow. She's got long hair. She's got the short blonde hair.
Right.
And then she's got the long red hair. And time travel, I think is going to. We've known that it's going to play a big role, but
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how they piece this all together, because that house that he's in front of has not. Someone needs to mow that lawn.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty messed up. I am so excited for this. We've got a month to go, a little over a month, 6 weeks actually.
Yeah.
One other thing that's significant is Rocket.
Yes.
Just hanging on to War Machine there. War Machine, his suit looks badass.
Doesn't it?
That's that's crazy.
Nah, so cool. The scene, one that really, really caught my attention is towards the end of it with everyone in those special suits.
Mm-hmm, including Tony Stark.
Including Stark himself. So, I mean, there's your dead giveaway. All right. We know they get him back somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them giving that away. I've heard some people complain about that. I mean, come on. What?
Yeah.
Tony Stark's not going to make it back. Tony Stark's not making it back. No. And I think it's going to play out exactly how I said. You have Captain Marvel showing up early on, and she's going to be like, oh, okay, I'll go get him for you. And just bring that shit and bring that spaceship to Earth.
Yep.
I think that's what we're seeing there. Because I'm sure, I'm trying to wonder, how do they even know what the status is? I bet you Rocket's probably got some kind of GPS or something on that ship.
Wouldn't be
And
surprised.
so he probably knows right where it's at, but has no way to get to it.
Right.
And so, but Captain Marvel shows up, and I think that's what we're seeing there. You got Ant-Man, really small, jumping off a pencil.
Yeah.
I think some people are pointing to a big fight that's going to happen on Thanos' farm. And I think that's part of what we're seeing here. I also think Avengers headquarters is going to get smashed up.
Interesting. Oh, smashed up by what? Like Thanos himself?
I don't know.
Like just
take your pick.
take your pick.
Take your take your pick though. I'm really not sure. The scene at the end with Thor and Captain Marvel, that's fun. I'm sure that pissed off a lot of the toxic masculinity guys. But, yeah, I guess looking into this, Brie Larson actually shot this before the movie, before Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh.
So, which makes sense. I mean, they shot most of 1 and 2, or Avengers Endgame or Avengers Infinity War and Endgame back to back.
Right. No, this was just fun though. This is something that's so Thor. That's something he would do.
Yep.
Can I just say I'm so happy to see him with the hammer again. Period.
Well, I think that's
no, it's Stormbreaker. It's Stormbreaker, but I say a hammer in quotes.
Oh, sure.
I just that's iconic Thor. So.
Not so iconic Thor is him hanging out in a hoodie, though.
I know.
I saw an image of that in the Super Bowl trailer, but yeah, he's kind of slumming it for Thor.
Yeah, he is.
But it's not like he's got his whole world's gone. He hasn't even really had a chance to deal with that. Plus, then you lose half the universe.
Yeah, it's not like he got many appearances to keep up here. Here's one thing I'm curious about the Asgardians. All right, it's funny. Thanos is so obsessed with half of everything. But at this point, and I'm assuming so, especially from the first Infinity War, is it safe to assume that Thor is the last Asgardian right now?
No, no, I don't think it's. In fact, I think we'll get a story dealing with that in particular. Maybe a fourth Thor movie, which they've said they may do now. No, in fact, there's a lot that goes on even in the Marvel universe when Ragnarok happens with the Asgardians, the remaining Asgardians,
Gotcha.
and what happens with them. I think they could do a story with that. How that will appear, I don't know. Maybe that'll be in the Loki series that's coming out, which I'm assuming is a prequel because he's supposed to be very much really dead for good.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but this looks great, and I want it out now.
Yeah.
Let's not wait. Let's watch it now.
Oh man.
Let's just watch it now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. The hype is real, and apparently, look, fans have said the same thing. As of right now, as of this recording, over 54 million views.
That's crazy, and that's just on Marvel Entertainment's channel.
Yeah.
I mean, these trailers get shared and released by everybody, so I'm sure it's a lot more than that. You get a lot of unofficial channels that release the same trailer, so it's probably, I would say, no less than 80 million.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So,
but it's awesome.
Love it. Love it.
Give it to me.
So you can put the popcorn bags on your ears.
That's right. That's right. I'll be that gremlin.
Lots of fun. Can't wait. We don't have a whole lot longer to wait anyway, so good deal. Aladdin, the Aladdin trailer. Okay, now here's the funny thing about this. Now, bear in mind this is going to be out in theaters May 24th, but this literally went from the revulsion everyone had from first seeing, the whole genie thing and the big stink about that, to then everyone's like, oh, it's fine.
It's fine. It was always fine.
It always was. That's why, we were saying earlier we didn't get the crazy amount of flack everything was catching as a result of this. It's like, people, just don't be so reactionary. Like, this is seeing this trailer. This is Aladdin, plain and simple. Like,
I watched it because I really have no personal interest in this movie, but the main reason I wanted to watch it, I'm like, watch, this is going to be fine now, and it was.
Yep. Simple enough. I think everything they've done from the classic stuff with the world to him discovering the genie lamp to the streets of Agrabah. Yeah, this is why I remember watching as a kid, man. And I think this is going to work as an adaptation. So
yeah, it'll be fine. It'll make them hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah, Disney is unstoppable.
Yeah, one mouse to rule them all. How's Isaac feeling about this one?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't. I meant that honestly. I didn't have more to that. I don't know. I haven't asked him.
Okay.
The most conversation I've had with Isaac when it comes to the Disney movies is, I think you and Ian are going to have to cover those because I won't.
Fair enough.
I just don't care.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm done. So, cool.
It does nothing for me.
Fair enough.
And I know some people are just like, how could you? It's like, I don't care.
I mean, don't you want someone to show you the world on a magic carpet? I mean,
no.
You're like, no.
I don't need to see Jasmine. I don't need to see the genie. I don't want to see some talk. Wait, hold on. I would have mild interest in seeing the talking parrot if Gilbert Gottfried's doing the voice. See. As he better be. Well, actually, a parrot probably isn't going to talk, I don't know. But if he was going to do the voice, then maybe. Yeah. And that's not enough for me to go see a movie, but he should.
Right. No, he should, man. Well, God, I got to move on to this. Speaking of something that does not look like it's going to work.
Ooh. It's getting smelly in here.
Guess what, Chris? It's not a game anymore.
It's not. It's not. It keeps this up. It's not a moneymaker anymore either. This Doom Annihilation trailer. Now we had pictures released last week, and we talked about those last week, and we're like, yeah, this looks like shit. And lo and behold, the trailer confirmed shit. This is really bad. This is, I mean, here's the thing about this, because it's also a very short trailer.
Right. Right.
I think it's 51 seconds in whole, and I think you're actually seeing about 40 seconds of actual footage of this movie. If this was the best,
Yeah.
these were the scenes to sell. Ooh, that's not good.
There are gonna be some problems
That's
here,
not
man.
good. This is going. Yeah, this is well. And I wasn't gonna say it's going straight to video because it was intended to go straight to video, but I think this is going straight to the late night pay stations or streaming. I think this is going right there. Oh man, holy crap! I had low expectations for this, but I figured and it's funny because they said they delayed it to work on the CGI more. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe some reshoots too. Maybe some reshoots. Go do some reshoots. Go reshoot some stuff. And when she's like, die, it's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It looks awful.
Already saying no.
And I'm already assuming. Oh no! I will watch this train wreck. I I will watch this and love or hate every bit of it. I'm hoping to hate to love it. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think it's really, I'm just going to shake my head. I mean, they've tampered down expectations for this pretty early on, but I mean, I was expecting better than this.
Yeah.
This is Doom. And not only that, but you made the mistake the first time by slapping the title on a movie that really wasn't even about Doom. They did some reshoots, but that original script for the 2005 Doom wasn't supposed to be about Doom at all. They just kind of slapped the name on it in hopes to make money. Well, they were right, but I don't think they're going to catch people this time. Yeah, this is bad though. That's a shame. This IP deserves a lot better than this, quite honestly.
Rough.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. No.
Pretty rough.
Well, hey, the best it could do is become a new guilty pleasure. But like you said, I don't think it's even going to do that. So.
No, I don't think it will. I think this is going to be forgotten.
Yeah. Left Alive? Maybe?
Nope. I don't even think it's going to be Left Alive.
Okay.
Left to die. Left to die.
I like it. Last but not least, we got the Red Band trailer for Good Boys.
This was oh my god. I saw this when I started putting together notes for this week's show.
This looks crazy.
I love it. This took me back to my childhood. Oh my god. Oh
man.
Would it be any surprise to anybody that I was a little bit of a rascal when I was little?
No, I thought just an angel.
Yeah, I mean the swearing and the discovering of life and things.
Yeah.
And I think what really got it for me was when he says, "We're not fifth graders anymore, we're sixth graders." Like,
Yeah.
I've been there. That's right. You're sixth graders now. You're almost out of elementary school. Or wait, yeah, as a sixth grader, aren't you in middle school then?
Sixth grade is technically middle school. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a big kid now.
Yeah, sixth, seventh. Man, I remember middle school years. They were fun, but I remember looking down the hall. It's like, oh, the eighth graders. Oh, it's a big deal. And then, man, they hardly know anything more than you do. It's great.
Yeah, but I am loving this film. This is going on the list. I'm sure Jason and I will have a blast with this because no one else is going to want to review this but him and I.
You guys are going to love that.
It's going to be, I'll show him the trailer and he's like, he'll just be like, sign me up. I won't even have to ask. He'll be like, all right, there we go. We're doing it. Doesn't have a release date yet, but this was so great.
Yeah.
I mean, we need more films like this nowadays. And I love the beginning part with Seth Rogen talking about, well, we can have
that was hilarious. Stuff,
yeah. But you can't watch this.
Yeah.
It's a nice little poke at where things are nowadays with it. But at the same time, they could have probably shown a PG-13 rated trailer with them if they were killing people. But because it has to do with sex and swearing and you can't show you. I'm loving this so
good
far.
Job.
I'm sure we'll get another trailer before it comes out, but this looks so good.
Good stuff. So, and was there anything else on how soon that was going to be out in theaters? Do we know?
No, it just said coming soon, just like Doom Annihilation.
sometime.
Coming soon. At some point. I think they've said Doom's coming out sometime in third, fourth quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for the I think they have to decide where they want to put it. There's actually some gaps as far as big time movies for the summer. I was a little surprised when going through the schedule. I don't think they're going to want to fight that though. You're probably looking at late summer, maybe early fall. They probably won't want to fight with the big blockbusters or something like that.
Cool. All right. Fair enough. Spinning on into Disney Plus, it looks like there's going to be a What If Marvel cartoon on the way. This is being produced by Marvel Studios, and the idea behind the What If is if you had some of the major heroes and stuff we know, what if they made different decisions, different outcomes, different turns, all that stuff, what would the Marvel Universe actually look like? It turns out David Foggie's going to be producing this series, and it's said to expect some actors from the past and present are going to be voicing some of the heroes and villains from the show. Huh.
Yeah. So
Fun.
this is not canon. This is in no way in canon. One, because it's a cartoon.
Right.
Secondly, because the whole point of this is what if something else happened? Some of the big questions come up, like what if, like Doctor Doom had all the Fantastic Four's abilities? What if Wolverine had killed the Hulk when they first encountered each other? Stuff like that. But this is going well beyond the current MCU. This is going to be dealing with Marvel as a whole, and they can get away with that because it's a cartoon.
Right.
Even though they can get away with that for the most part after next week, because that's when the Fox Disney deal is supposed to finalize. This is fantastic. I can't wait to see this. Marvel Studios, as far as I know, has not done a cartoon yet, so it'll be interesting to see how they land their first animation. I can't wait for this. When I saw this earlier this week, I'm like, this is the best thing. I think I'm more excited about this than The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know about Clone Wars. I think I'm still most excited about the final season of Clone Wars, but this is going to be so great. I mean, the what ifs were awesome. I didn't buy a lot of them, but I always just loved the cover and the question. I think one of them was like, what if Loki beat the Avengers, and that was in Avengers 1.
Oh.
Stuff like that. But they can also play this off of the movies as well.
Sure.
Questions like, what if Thanos became an Avenger? That's one of them.
Wow.
Stuff like that. It's just all kinds of crazy things, and the outcomes that happen from that. I'm so excited. There's no release date or anything here yet, but the fact that they're doing it.
I was gonna ask, what if Thor went for the head?
They could do that.
Good.
They could actually do that.
Good. All right.
And I think it'll be pretty cool, because I think this is going to be how I think occasionally we'll get Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and such coming in to do voices for these characters. I think we'll also get some actors from the Fox Marvel X-Men stuff, maybe doing some voices. They can do that with this.
Oh yeah.
And that's really cool.
This is awesome. I mean, if you ever got into these, this is something we'd always see in comics too. I think DC did this a lot with the whole alternate universe takes.
Yeah.
And we this idea is always so fun to play with.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's not a Marvel idea, but I think the Marvel What If comics really are what I think they took the highlight, or let me just say the spotlight for these kind of comics.
No, gotta agree, man. Yeah, dude, I'm down. Just point me to when the episodes come out and I'll watch. So, good stuff. Speaking of MCU, a little something happened that, it didn't look like it was going to happen. That it looked like the whole deal with Guardians was sealed, that he'd moved on. But turns out James Gunn has officially been reinstated as the director of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This is a report from Deadline. Now, they did report that the decision to actually bring him back in, it got made months ago. Conversations happened between leadership.
That was surprising when I found that out.
I know. A
lot of this whole thing was really. This has been in the works since he got fired.
That's crazy. It's crazy. Obviously, there were a lot of conversations, higher ups in Marvel, leadership at Disney, multiple meetings between Gunn and Alan Horn, and then off and on meetings since the firing. I was saying this when this story first cropped up, that man, you can't deny the success of Guardians and the formula that you have here, and I think in more ways than one. I think looking at the branding and looking at just the cash that's been made from the Guardians franchise, man, that speaks. At the end of the
Hmm.
day, I know that means a lot to both companies. So, but like you said, just the breadth of time this has been in the works, but despite all the public showmanship we've had with it, the huge deal that was made over, no way, no how, no turnbacks, no takebacks, done. So
Now he's still going to do Suicide Squad over at DC. He's going to knock that out first, and then he's going to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Yeah, no, well, and he's producing that movie we were talking about, that trailer that we saw last week, Brightburn.
it looks amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hollywood's making some damn good movies coming up here in the next couple of years.
Yeah,
Especially
man.
this year, though.
So really locking in, dialing it in. It's almost like that wine ripen age to when you've had the point where you should be reaching fatigue for some things, but you're not. You would think with all the superhero movies we've had that, oh, that'll just fall off. That'll be, no, it's just
No, it's here to stay.
steadily ramped up, man. I mean, and here it is. So,
I mean,
deal.
will superhero movies eventually go into a lull like other genres? Probably.
It has to. Has to.
But I mean, yeah, it's going strong right now.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with how they've been able to branch out with movies like Brightburn, which is technically a superhero movie, but it is also a thriller.
Right.
So, yeah.
Not to be confused with Michael Jackson Thriller, but there are some elements of superhero horror. The closest thing I could think of to describe that, and I never thought I'd see those two pair. That, yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer for that, again, go see it. Looks good.
So good.
So, all right. Speaking of DC, The Flash and Batman, possibly some new shootings going to be happening at the end of this year. So check this out. There's some rumors flying around that a new Flash movie could be ready to start shooting as soon as November this year. This report is coming just a few weeks after it was reported that the production team and the script has changed yet again. The new production start also has to do with Ezra Miller's schedule opening up, with Fantastic Beasts 3 production as reported to actually be delayed. So Flash might not be by himself, though. Look at this. THR has a report that Batman may also start production in November. The script is apparently done. Director Matt Reeves is doing some tweaking with it, and the new actor playing Batman has yet to be announced.
Yeah, who's Batman?
Yeah, therein
I'm
lies the
Batman.
question. I'm Batman.
Batman.
As far as guesses, I don't think they've really telegraphed that, have they?
What's that?
For who's going to be Bats? I haven't seen anything.
No. They've actually kept a pretty tight lid on it. I don't know if they even have it picked yet. But if they're going to actually shoot for November, we'll know. We'll know probably here, I'd say in the next 6 months or so. I mean,
Yeah.
November's still quite a ways away, but they're going to have to start getting that. Contracts have to be decided.
Right.
Outfits have to be fitted. Cinematography has to be decided. You've got to get your person lined up. You got to get your main star lined up here. The Flash, I think that's a little surprising. Because I mean they just like started over again.
Right.
So, but there's still plenty of time. I think DC, under the direction, I can't remember the guy's name, but the new guy heading up the DC movies will make sure that both these movies are starting principal photography in November.
There you go.
Because they're gonna want plenty of time to get those ready for 2021 release.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, dude. Whoever picks up the Batman cowl, this is it's a long tradition that's been done. Again, I'm just going to be interested to see how loose that movie is compared to the rest of the DC films, and how close or how not close it is to Flash. Are they going to have any relation at all? Are they going to be calling in other heroes or whatever else? Who knows?
No.
So,
Yeah.
we'll see. But
Yeah, we will.
This is going to give DC a chance to, I think, sort some stuff out carefully and really reestablish a few things. So if they can.
By sorting it out, do you mean by separating everything?
Yeah. there's some serious sifting to be done here, man.
I'm still sour about that. I
I
don't like it.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. It's it's a rough departure, right? I mean, it's one thing to say, hey, shared universe. Wait. No, not non-shared. Break it up. Break it up. Break it up. Break it up.
I don't like the fact that they're not just coming out. I bitched about this a couple weeks ago. They're not coming out and saying it.
Right.
I don't like the fact that it feels like they're going to try to continue to make money off of the fact that they tried to make a shared universe, but they're not anymore. But they're like, well, people will still want to go and see it in part because it's part of a shared universe. Well, but it's not. Well, you don't have to tell them that. Like, why do you got to be so dirty? Why you got to be dirty about stuff?
It is underhand. It's like, oh, let them think, let them think what they want.
Right.
Oh, oh well.
Not happy about it.
No. So, we'll see. Hey, here's a throwback. Here's a throwback you brought to my attention. I didn't.
Yeah,
It
it
has
is.
nothing to do with DC or Marvel.
By almost 40 years.
Yeah, 1981, man. Time Bandits is getting a TV show. Taika Waititi. Now, didn't he do Thor Ragnarok?
He did do Thor Ragnarok, which is why he is the perfect fucking choice for this.
Yes, he is.
I'm loving this. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's great. He's director, writer, and producer. It was a report from Deadline a little earlier this week that he's joined the team for Apple's upcoming Time Bandit series. This is based off, of course, the cult classic. Now, this goes way back. Now, I'll say this. This movie was before my time. Wasn't even born when this was out.
I was 4.
Yeah, Chris was 4.
I was little. Oh my god, I watched this movie so much in the 80s though. It was on HBO constantly.
Oh, man.
I've discussed it, man. I mean, it used to be me when I was a kid and I get back from like kindergarten. it was me and the TV with HBO and my peanut butter toast. for just devouring and watching all kinds of movies I should not be watching. Because HBO, when it was first around, they didn't have a lot. They didn't have a lot to do. So, it was movies and it was comedies. I don't really understand why the pay stations would do this. I think they still do it now. I don't know. I haven't seen them in forever. But like HBO and Showtime and all, Cinemax, they would put some very adult and even softcore porn movies on during the day. There might be some little 4 or 5-year-old sitting there with peanut butter toast watching HBO. I'm just saying.
Hey,
and not that I minded. I was pretty confused more than anything. But
yeah,
hey, this isn't this. I'm excited for some reason. But yeah, Time Bandits was on a lot.
Man,
a lot.
I had a good friend of mine who's responsible for about half the nerd I am. Armored Core amongst other things and some stuff. But we were doing like a throwback day. I mean, I think we'd gone through like the Guyver adaptation. We'd gone through Iria/Zerum and some other stuff. And then he's just like, hey, you ever heard of Time Bandits? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, check this out. So that's...
The thing about this movie is that it still stands up. Like you have a lot. You have so many fantasy movies that were made in the 80s. Unfortunately, one of my favorites, either Never Ending Story, does not... Oh, boy, that did not hold up with time. That's really... I love you, Falcor, but oh, man. I pray for a remake for that book. But this one still really holds up. It didn't rely so much on special effects and animatronics.
Right.
Some of that was there, but this was about. I mean, well, first your dwarves they're real little short people. So, and they were all great. And it's if you come out of that era, you've seen every one of those actors like a million times. Like, oh, it's that guy, and he was in this, and that guy. The acting's really good. The story, it's a darker story, but it's a good story. I mean, I'm sorry, spoilers for 40 years ago. The movie ends with his parents getting killed.
Oof.
And he's
right,
alone.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
he's just alone. It's like, all right, see you later.
Bye.
Yeah, that's the end of the movie. No, it's such a good story. That's such a good tale. It's really a lot of fun. I'm so excited. Taika Waititi is the perfect guy for this. He's gonna be co-writing the pilot. He's directing he's directing the pilot, co-writing the pilot, and he's going to be an executive producer on the whole series.
Right.
So, and I mean, yeah, if you think about Time Bandits, then you think about Thor Ragnarok, and you're like, oh my God, that's perfect.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. It's just the whole concept of this was fun. I mean, just like the time traveling dwarves and like smash and grabs and stuff. It's just, man, it's off the wall fantasy stuff. What was that, dude? What was that other one that's coming out on Netflix? It's another
Oh, Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal. Yes,
Yep.
yes. Another grab at a really really old property like that. So cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cool.
Well, that's a little. I mean, that's a Jim Henson thing, though. That's a
Right.
little different. I mean, that's puppets everywhere. So, and literally the whole thing is puppeteering. There's no actual live actor on the screen.
There you go.
So, the other important thing is that Terry Gilliam, who was the original director for Time Bandits for the film, he is also attached to the series as far as just making sure that the direction of the series is going the right way. That's just as exciting for me.
Good stuff.
So, yeah, I can't wait. I'm not sure where this is appearing yet. Apple owns the rights, but they're working on it with Paramount Television, MRC, and anonymous content. One of those, I think, is Terry Gilliam's production company. Yeah, I'm so excited for that. No ideas when it's coming out, where it's coming out, but they're doing it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. For that, also rounding off the list here, and this doesn't have to do necessarily with the show, but this is something that we're both watching really intently. And Chris, you're going to be doing the playthrough for this because I got Spider-Man. You're going to get the next Sony Epic. We might just have The Last of Us 2. The release date might be leaked for this.
Yeah.
So this was via a Peruvian retailer.
Of course, it's a Peruvian retailer.
Of course, right?
Where else would it happen?
Yeah.
The vast majority of these leaks end up happening from overseas.
They do. They do. It reminds me of real quick to something that happened during the Dragon Ball
But
Fighters.
the Peruvians are the worst.
Yeah, it's always the Peruvians. Darn Peruvians. Man,
Sorry.
during no, you're good, man. During Dragon Ball the tournament, it was the end of the World Tour thing, and they what was it, like the EU branch of Namco? I forget exactly where it came out of, but it was a huge leak. They revealed all the new DLC characters and everything like way ahead of the tournament actually ending. So it's usually some other branch or someone else. But anyway, there was a little bit of promo for this that got posted. Now the date though apparently says October of this year.
Yeah.
Man,
Happy Halloween.
woo, that would actually be
Boom.
perfect.
It is a good time. It's a good time of year. It's a good placement for it overall.
Yeah. So,
If it's true.
If it's true. I mean, like you're getting at, rumors for the release. That's not anything new, but it does fall in line with the new ones we've heard. Stating that, the game is going to come out in that month and everything else. So it's lining up in the general scope. Also, delicious little rumor that Sony is going to be announcing just maybe the PS5 around that time as well.
See, here's why I think that matters. Because they did a similar thing, timing not quite as on point, but they did a similar thing with the first Last of Us. Last of Us came out on the PS3. What was one of the first games to come out for the PS4?
This is true.
The remastered version of The Last of Us. And I think they might be setting this up to do a similar thing for Last of Us 2.
This is true. So, man, tell me, thinking about, as we start to have this loose conversation about next gen, the next leap in consoles is so different from how you used to think
Dude, we're just going to be attaching like a cable into our brain.
Pretty much.
So.
I love weighing in about or talking to some other buddies who are into gaming and stuff about this, about where they stand with consoles. I find myself not quite as buzzed for the next console as I used to be in the past. You could say that's just because getting older and stuff like that, whatever. But I think for me at least it's more so because we're closing that gap so much with PCs. I mean, PC's always going to be ahead power-wise.
That's the interesting part, is that the evolution of gaming has happened mostly with the revolution of PC gaming getting back into the forefront.
True.
I mean, if you've been following gaming long enough, you know that at one point PC gaming was where it was at, and and consoles were way behind.
Yep.
That ended up swapping, as it probably will do once again. They've been trying to push VR, and people for various reasons, VR is not taking off.
No.
And it's still here, and I think it's still going to be here. But I mean, they were talking about it back in maybe even the late '80s, but definitely in the '90s about VR is going to be the future. No, it's not. No, people don't want to wear a headset all the time. They don't want to. People want to use controllers, or they want to be able to play their game, and they want to have the option to either play the game and enthrall themselves and make the rest of their life disappear, or not.
Right.
Some people want or need to be able to step away. They don't want to have to disconnect the headset or all this crap. And, it. So, yeah, I think it's getting a little stagnant for that reason, because the evolution as far as how you game hasn't really changed much.
It hasn't.
Every gen they try to do this. I mean, the gen before was all the motion garbage.
Yep.
That's in the Wii was fun and in the best of it, but even then it wasn't all that great. Just reading people's movements and such just never quite got to where it should be. It'd probably be fine now, but it's a gimmick. But they're gimmicks that aren't sticking. PlayStation's been trying to do this for years. If you look at like your first 50 or so launch PS3 games, they're all about the motion in your controller. You could turn the controller left or right or up and down. There was that. That never really caught on. And then you have the fact that people are really getting sick of the microtransactions and some of the stuff that AAA game
that's
developers
terrible.
are coming out with. Yeah, so I don't think, which is funny because I think as far as power goes, these next gen systems are going to be enormously more powerful than what we're dealing with now. That being said, they're not going to even be as powerful as the current PCs.
Right.
But I think they're going to be a lot further along. But I think that's going to be it. People aren't grasping onto this stuff, and hey, surprise, surprise. At the end of the day, gamers just want great games.
There you go.
I think the last gimmick to really stick is the freaking DualShock, dude.
That's stuck like glue.
I mean, yeah, that's standard now. That's pretty much standard gaming. But even now, I don't care.
Right.
I don't really, it's. And then I think when you're talking about real gaming evolution as far as hardware, I think the PlayStation controller has been the last best thing to happen.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, that's down to fighting games and a lot of other things. Just looking at the stuff the PlayStation controller has done. I go back to firstly the days of Nintendo 64 when the Rumble Pack was introduced and how big a deal that was. Like, oh man, rumbling controller, and that became a real standard feature that's just sort of expected. But the Sony controller comes along, and you not only have the whole ergonomic feel and just that whole comfort level and stuff, but all the way to the way the PS4 controller is now. There's stuff I really really like, down to the home screen access. Also, I love the touchscreen on PS4. I remember when I first heard about that, I'm like, man, I hope that doesn't get in the way, or I don't actually, like, absolutely not. In fact, the games that include that for the most part, do a really good job integrating it. I know one of the closest examples for me is, FF14. Somebody who plays on, I have the license on both PS4 and PC, but being able to use that as an optional mouse, if you just want to, real quick select something in a certain way or do that, it's just really cool to be able to instantly flip over to that with your thumb without any, extra bells and whistles or anything else. They've just done a really good job implementing that.
I completely forgot about it. I've not had a single game where I use it.
Really?
So yeah,
How's it going?
Maybe it has a function, but I don't use it for anything. I use it as like an additional button. You sometimes it just says to push that in.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's about it. But you're right. The Rumble Pack, Dreamcast, which does get overlooked as it often does, but sometimes it shouldn't. They're the first ones I think that had the additional screen in the controller.
Right.
That was pretty neat. And, yeah, the Rumble Pack was before the DualShock, and the DualShock controller is what really cemented it. I think what I'm not going to like, and Microsoft is trying this out right now. They've announced that I think coming out next month will be their first Xbox One S without a disc drive.
Really?
It's going to be $200, which is about the same price as the current version with a disc drive. I think it's going to come standard with a 1 terabyte hard drive, which it needs to come with 2. They're saying there's going to be an option to take your disc games to certain Xbox official locations, and they will give you a code, which then you can then download the game on your new Xbox. I don't like that at all. I don't, and I don't want to see, hey, I mean, every gen, I will compare the consoles, and I will decide, is it, and I've gone with PlayStation every time.
Sure.
But I will actually do a fair and unbiased comparison, and I will be honest. I will probably go with PlayStation again, and every time I tend to do that with PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and probably PlayStation 5 is the exclusive games.
Yep.
It comes down to those games.
Yep.
And Xbox just doesn't win it, and Xbox doesn't win because I have a PC, and we've talked about that many times. Because any game that comes out on the Xbox comes out on the PC, so why do I need an Xbox? Why do I need an Xbox? Especially now that crossplay is going to get nothing but more popular and probably standard as time goes on. So when we're talking about software developments, that's some key things. Obviously buying games online has become much more popular. We are dinosaurs. We've talked about that. we even buy most of our games now right off the console.
Oh yeah.
And and we'll continue to bitch about how we don't want standard discs to go away either. I don't want them to go that route though. I better have a Blu-ray player in my next console. So, but yes, Microsoft's going to be testing that out. Good luck. It's kind of like, I think that's very similar to people. What's the number one thing that people bitch about when it comes to the PlayStation? Lack of backwards compatibility.
Oh well, okay.
Yeah, it is.
I can't. No, you're right. I was trying to weigh that, but yeah.
So what are people going to bitch about when the next Xbox doesn't have a disc drive?
Yeah.
I mean, and then it'll be like, well, for what is it? No, it's not $5. It's $9.99 a month. You can get access to all the games. Yeah, but I already bought it.
I think that's a really dangerous step. Anytime that you're doing something that takes away that agency from gamers.
That's overall my point. Once you start taking stuff away, people get pissed.
Yeah, it's just sort of, it comes up and I ask why. I mean, look, we know why. The why is because if you do that, you leave the door open for more like DRM, for downloadable stuff, for those subscription based models. Bring everybody.
And that's why they're really pushing it.
It is. It's like the bundling stuff with cable and all that, man. Get everybody into the bundle. Get it. Look, gamers. Of course, we can't speak for everybody, but I think gamers have proven time and time again that that having their control over the way they game. How they get content, whether they want to do physical editions, where they want to do downloadable, that's a big deal. So,
yeah. So it is funny because I think as much more popular as downloading games is getting, I think once you would just take away that option for them to buy it at a store,
right?
I think that, I don't know if they want to do that, though. I mean, still, like, the number one way that people get Christmas presents at our games are physical games.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not, I use it now. I download games. But I want to always have my option to buy a disc. Plus, if you're buying the game online, it should be $5 cheaper.
It should.
Because there's no package, there's no disc or anything. Why isn't it $5 cheaper?
Yeah.
We'll throw that out there. Should be fine. Make it happen.
Man, I think things would go overwhelmingly DLC to some people with that. It's that wonderment, man, of going in the shop. I always said, if I had a son or daughter that was into gaming, someday I'd love to bring him into the game store. It's there's a
even today's game stores.
Well,
those things are sketchy.
They are kind of sketch. That's why it's like I need an adult, But no, that's always fun, man. I mean, I'm never gonna forget the days of Babbage's and
I mean, my friends and I, when we were kids, we were like the kids from Good Boys. But I don't think your kids would be.
No, I don't know. They wouldn't. No, they would not.
We'd be the sketchiest people in there, even if we were sixth graders. Don't worry about the 400-pound 50-year-old virgin over there looking at the mangas. Worry about that sixth grader over there. Worry about that kid.
Oh
Get too
man,
close to him, you won't have your wallet anymore.
you all had popcorn bags on your ears.
I do. I have them right now. I don't have headphones on.
Gremlins. Oh man. So, but yeah, man. We'll see where it goes. Last of Us. It'd be really cool to see if it really does become a headline title again. So.
Oh my god, it's still. What do you mean again? It's still.
Well, I mean, like, for PS5, if that ends up becoming
that just makes too much damn sense.
Yeah.
They will. Although I guess, well, I mean, the next gen systems are going to be standard 4K. I mean, you right now you have your HD and your 4K versions. You got your PlayStation 4 and your PlayStation Pro. They're going to be able to push a lot more as far as graphics are concerned with VRAM and such. But, I mean, do people really care? People barely care about 4K.
Right.
Well, how do you push a new version of The Last of Us? I mean, because you're going to have the version that's going to come out this year, assuming it comes out in October. But what do you do to entice people? Because the difference between the PlayStation 3 and the remastered version were massive.
Big time. Big time.
I don't know if you're going to see that though, because I mean, some of these enhanced PlayStation Pro games or Xbox One X games, they don't look much different. And right. they're very close. So I don't know. We'll see. Now, because what they definitely cannot do is they definitely cannot give it more features. And that was one of the things that made the remaster so cool for the remaster of The Last of Us. The DLC was included. The DLC side story was included, but that was it. Besides that, it was an enhanced version of the game. No new gameplay options or anything like that. And that was important. I think that's very important that you don't gyp them like that.
Good point.
So yeah, we'll see. But I wouldn't doubt it if that's the plan. It'll be interesting to see how they go about that.
Yeah.
It can hang out there with the Final Fantasy VII remake.
I was about to say, you took the words out of my mouth, man. I was like, all right, look, FF7 remake, you got a countdown timer over you at this point. Like,
didn't they promise it would come out on the PlayStation 4?
Yes.
They didn't just say it was going to. Didn't they promise?
Yeah, the words on that remake trailer all those years ago. Wow, I'm saying all those years ago. It's kind of crazy. Were play it first on PS4.
Okay, so not quite. We promise it'll be on PlayStation 4, but yeah, basically. Left alive.
If a miracle happens and we get, part one this year or next year or something like that, miracle
would, if they actually did that and they released part one on the PS4 and then the next one's on the PS5, the miracle would be that franchise would survive.
That'd be a mess.
Yeah, it would.
It'd be an absolute mess. So we'll see. I mean, you have
what they could do, Ian, is they could just release one game. They could just release one game instead of chapter 1, chapter 2, just release one game.
And this would all be over with.
Right. So, call me crazy, but I think that's an idea that might work.
My thing was sequential parts is, if you're gonna do it, have the release window. If you must break it up, have that release window be as close to a single game as possible. I'm talking on the heels of each other. Snap, 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 snap. Like, I wonder about audience retention, especially.
Yeah, what is the chances of that happening with Square Enix, though?
Yeah, right. I just wonder about the retention, man. I mean, again, we don't know how long it's going to be between each part, but that is a risky move they're pulling here. I think it could backfire real easy. So
I think their best bet is to probably shoot for the PS5 at this point.
Yeah.
Price the first disc, the first game at $20, and then just do it at the beginning of the lifespan of the system. Put it out in 2021. Make it a launching title, for God's sake.
That would sell PS5s.
Right. And then as the life of that system goes, release the rest of the discs.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Partner with Sony on this, they'd be thrilled if the remake would come out as a launch title.
Yeah, man.
That's the best way to do it at this point. That being said, we'll see it on the PlayStation 6 10 years from now. And people's grandkids will be like, "What's Final Fantasy VII, Grandpa? I played that in the 90s."
Don't worry, Kingdom Hearts will still be going too.
Yeah,
Oh boy, oh boy. So,
but I think that would be their best bet, and I would do that. Well, I said I'll buy the first disc.
Sure.
I said I'll get the first one.
You did.
And see, now this is a game where I would not download. I have no rush at this point to play this promised remake. That I would buy on a disc. I'd order it. Hell, the subsequent versions after the next disc and second and third and all that. Hell, I might just wait for those to hit the bargain bin. So, but I'll get the first one. Eh?
Cool. So, time will tell.
I see that because I don't think I'll ever see it, honestly.
Time will tell, man. I think once we come back after the end of this month, once we start to get recording again, we're going to be in that vaunted April, which is supposed the window for news. So I'm going to be watching like a hawk at that point because it's getting to a now or never moment for news. So we'll see if the rumors paid off, and if indeed it's actually a lot closer than we think. Who knows?
Square Enix is the honey badger of the gaming industry.
They don't care.
So, I don't give a shit.
Love it. Alrighty, I'm gonna scooch right on through the rest of our gaming news here. We got a couple more pieces, one of which has to do with Square. I was just talking about this game, Kingdom Hearts 3. Shameless plug. Playthroughs here in the channel.
Yeah, go watch that Let's Play because I had to edit.
Yeah,
go watch it.
Chris is
Make
like,
my pain worth it.
You're like, I'm skimming. I can't.
No.
Oh man, yeah, Cage 3. Definitely one of the biggest releases for this year so far. It's been confirmed, if you haven't heard, that this is going to be getting DLC. I believe this first came out during an interview with Tetsuya Nomura and Dengeki from Japan, but also Polygon and Kotaku have also confirmed this. And as for what we can count on, what do we have coming? We know that, at least what we're hearing about this so far, there's going to be likely a critical mode added. For those of you who played KH a good while, critical mode is for, you want to go hardcore, the hardcore. Crappy health, you hardly do any damage, like crazy enemies. It's ramped up for a reason, but it's also where you get those awesome speedrunners who just, go through and blaze that stuff after who knows how much practice. So I'm not going to be doing critical mode. Whatever else comes out, which is likely going to be, of course, Extended Story 2, I will be continuing on with my file there. I'll be continuing on with Proud Mode. Now, I think DLC makes sense for two reasons. One, they talked a lot about it before KH3 was released, that they'd be open to the prospect of it. Two, when you finish KH3, there is actually like a New Game Plus available already. So you already see the framework and the architecture here for, hey, keep all your stuff that you beat the game with, pick right up and start here. I think it's going to be a no-brainer to just do New Game Plus and go right into the DLC. So whatever it is, whenever that comes out, we should be seeing that coming up. I will be picking that up right here on this channel, going through that. If you're a Cage fan, of course, keep an eye out for it. But don't get your hopes up. Don't expect the end of this stuff. It's not going to end. It can't. I don't see it. I don't see it yet. Oh man. So my personal question about this is: are they going to bring back any of the super bosses? KH has been known for this, mainly the extra Coliseum fights. KH1, Sephiroth. KH2, Sephiroth is pretty crazy. I expected to see that again here, but we didn't have anything like that, so who knows? Oh, I heard that, Chris. So grunt.
It should be Sora versus all the emo kids with popsicles. So I just wanted them all to just jump right off.
Oh man.
You can send your hate mail for Chris at caseallmedia@gmail.com.
Oh boy. All right.
Let me say this. I'm going to say this.
Sure.
Look, obviously there's some franchises and IPs of Disney that I love, and I'm not I used to hate Disney as a whole. I thought a lot of their practices back in the 80s and 90s were horrible. Um, Mickey Mouse is a psychopath. All right, so Ian does the Let's Play. I do the post production basically. I do the editing and such. And I'm catching the end of this, and Mickey is talking to Sora. It's like, oh, Sora, you gotta go, and Mickey's like, we don't want you to go, but he's still smiling the whole damn time. I'm like, is he not allowed to have a sad face? Is this part of the? I bet you it is. Like Mickey can never look sad. Like he looks like a freaking psycho right now.
Also, that it's funny you mention it, because that weirded me out a bit when he specifically like really glum towards an earlier part, or when they run into one of the other characters in the game when they're freeing like Aqua. He has this moment where he's like, really, really like down. I'm like, okay, well wait, well they've done that before, so I don't expect that would be a stretch here. I don't know. That was kind of weird.
But he was still smiling though, wasn't he?
He wasn't.
Oh, he actually wasn't smiling earlier in the game?
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, he was at the end.
He was.
He looked like a psycho. I don't really want you to go.
Smiles.
No, it's big smiles. Get out of here, Sora. Take your keyblade and get out of here.
Oh, lordy. Lordy. So, yeah. I'll be watching out for it.
Okay, sorry, I'm done.
No, it's all good. A couple more things here. One of which, those of you who played Ninja Gaiden, not me. Yeah, not me. I played a little bit of that when I was younger, but I never went crazy in the series. Super hard, classic for difficulty. But there's a platformer. This has been out over on the PC end, but it's going to be hitting PS4 really soon here. In fact, on the 19th of this month. In fact, I put a trailer for this up. I don't know if you had a chance to take a quick look at that, Chris. But it's
what? No, I'm gonna look at it right now.
There you go. It's called The Messenger. I think the trailer I put up was from the Nintendo Switch version. But anyway, this hails back to the old school. Like the 16-bit era of 2D gameplay and stuff like that.
Look at this.
Yeah. It is old school, the old school. So if you've got a hunger for Ninja Gaiden or gameplay like that, go check out The Messenger. I think you might dig that, or just wait for the launch that's going to happen in days. So cool.
Huh? That's fun.
It looked fun.
It's a platformer, so I won't touch it. I'm not a fan of old school platformers. I'm very few and far between on which ones I will play. As far as platformers as well.
I really hope Battletoads isn't just an Xbox thing. Sure, though I think it will be, because I will be really, really sad if it is.
Well, that's fine. It'll be on your PC.
I was about to say, that's the thing. I would love to at least check that out on PC. I'm never going to beat it, of course, but I'd love to own it. So.
No, I'll send you a stress ball.
Thank you. That game, man. I've come close, but I've never done it. And
we should do that for one of our first pieces of merchandise. We should have a Case All Media stress ball.
Stress ball. I'd
That'd be awesome.
Dude, give me one.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, we got some big moves from Respawn Entertainment. They are behind the EA hit Apex Legends. So, okay, there have been a ton of bans happening lately if you've been keeping up with this game. In fact, it's up to 355,000 players banned at this point for rampant cheating. They're moving on into hardware bans at this point, stopping, IPs, certain machines and all of that. Of course, policing banning, especially in like a free-to-play game, is something that has been handled differently by all kinds of companies over time, but sometimes it gets into a gray area, sometimes it gets a little crazy to actually carry through and police with fully, but Respawn's really, really pushing this and really trying to keep, cheating out. Important to note, there's a huge market for this too. A lot of people who develop the cheats, and some of them get paid up to, make, $5,000 in a couple of days. Others even on the modest end of the spectrum, are getting like, 400, bucks per job and stuff like that. So, it's a big community for it. It's a really big deal. On the other end of the spectrum, I do find it funny about Apex from EA themselves about trying to push some marketing for it. When the release was happening and when EA was trying to cover all the outlets with it to really bombard and make sure this advertisement for Apex got out there, there was no secret that there was a streamer or two that got about $1 million or literally $1 million for coverage for an entire day of Apex only. So there's all kinds of markets surrounding this game, but it looks like the cheating itself is going to get curb stomped or at least curtailed to the point where it lets you know, hey, it's not going to be allowed to last. People are going to remake accounts, of course. They're going to start. We're going to do it over and over and over again, but still, it looks like they're going to actually, enforce this stuff. Battle Royale has just been like hotcakes since Fortnite. I think Fortnite and Apex are really the two, for lack of a better term, the apex predators of this whole thing. So,
Yeah, what was the other one that was out? I think even a little bit before Fortnite. It was like it was used. An acronym was used to.
was it a Battle Royale?
Yeah, yeah, like something dot or something like that.
Dot? I was gonna say
M dot or something.
Wow, you're actually getting me there, man.
Time to hit the Google.
There you go.
Keep going.
Something to consider about why this stuff is here to stay. I think Battle Royale has been written off before as just the latest fad, or it's going to instantly disappear. But yeah, a lot of us, were sort of hoping for that. But looking closer at why this stuff is here, look, it's got really, really strong roots. I go all the way back to the days of Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike's still kicking. Counter-Strike communities, and then you've got stuff like PUBG out there and all that. The mass PvP is a model that I think is just downright enduring, and I think you're pulling enough people who've been in, Battle Royale PvP zones or doing like, first-person shooters with that kind of style long enough to have this be a sustainable model. And then, of course, the new players do.
PUBG.
What about it? Oh, it was PUBG.
PUBG.
It was PUBG. Okay. Yeah. PUBG's an oldie.
So out of the current trend.
Player unknown.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. PUBG.
But no, there we have it.
Which I don't. How is that doing nowadays?
Still kicking along.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the creator of it. I think he's long since moved on, but that's kind of given. I kind of wonder if people like or groups like Google are going to end up getting into the whole gaming realm or trying to get hold of something like a property like PUBG and push that. Who knows?
I don't think so, man. Once these things started moving to Android, I think around the middle of last year.
Right.
I think that's pretty much it. The real estate's gone.
Yeah. Well, looking at this too, we're talking about large scale groups and EA and all that. Their appearance and their presence at places like E3. It's really important to note this year that EA is actually they're going to be skipping it. At least the main press. They're not going to be at E3. They're not. It's not like they're the first to do that. Sony themselves are going to be taking a bit of a dip.
That's going to be disappointing.
It is sad. I agree. But
E3 is sad. So
right. But you got to look at what's replacing that and what they're trying to do. EA. They're over here saying, well, hey, we're not doing E3, but we're going to be doing our own conferences with our own content, our live streams going, and to basically make our own presser.
I think it's a good move for Sony.
Sure.
It's a bad move for EA.
Yeah.
I think EA might be overestimating its popularity by itself.
Oh, dude, EA. By a large part of the gaming community, of course, is viewed as walking toxic.
Yeah.
A lot of people simply cannot stand the brand itself, and knowing where that's at, it is a risk. It is a bit of a risk to just
now watch me be completely wrong about that, because the vast majority of their customers are probably Madden people, FIFA people, and Apex Legend people who just don't follow those kind of things when it comes to the developer.
See here, that's just it. It's completely different. This is one of those rare cases where the majority of the gaming crowd, especially hardcore gamers, whatever you want to call them, is eclipsed by just the sheer amount of people who play Madden and FIFA and everything else, or who just, come by to just do multiplayer, who have no stock in these issues, who could care less. It's just, hey, is my favorite title coming out, this year? I counted updates for that. I'll watch it. And I think honestly, for sports and Apex alone, EA could get away with that. Like,
Yeah, so they probably will.
so there you have
What
it.
does Sony plan to do in its place?
Good question. I actually haven't looked at their to see if they have even something on the side planned. I don't know. I don't know.
I think the word was they're more focused on what they're going to be doing in October,
Right.
which
Man,
is releasing the first view specs of the PS5. So
October. October is becoming the hot button year, man.
it's the new November.
I like it. I like it a lot, though.
But yeah, E3 can suck it for the most part because they're just they're struggling to be relevant. I mean, I wasn't a fan in the early 2000s when they had the doors open and gaming was going in a bit of a revolution as far as media coverage, and it was a hot mess. And then they're like, okay, we're going to be E3 again, and we're going to be for developers, and we're going to be for software and hardware developers, and for game creators, and there will press will be allowed, and we'll do all kinds of press stuff, but the doors are closed
Right.
to the general public. And now they've opened them again, and people are like, it's like a bunch of stuff. This is, E3, get your stuff together. You've lost EA and you've lost Sony. That's not good.
It's rough.
And we'll see if they go back next year.
Who knows?
So
Who knows, man?
and if anyone else drops out next year.
Yeah, it's sort of been up, E3 being especially not something public, at all in previous years, and then going back to this model, and it makes me wonder: are they just gonna pull the plug again and just bring back the companies?
They should.
Yeah,
I get it. They see an opportunity to make money, but people are getting sick of this stuff.
yeah.
They want the news. They want the facts. Sorry, cosplayers, but you've got plenty of other conventions.
Oh, tons. And it's crazy too. I think about like the whole situation that's going on, with Anthem that they note about devs. Pre-release, you heard a lot more directly from devs themselves or people, in like, various parts of the team and stuff like that. But there's an entirely different, I think, spectrum to keep in mind when they start stepping into public arenas like this. And a lot of the times, even on, forums, Anthem being an example, the devs themselves aren't doing nearly as much feedback, and that not because it's just, you could say it's just not their job, period, but what they're subjected to. It's one thing to have, I think, creative criticism on something. I think people, you can deal with that about things to improve, but just rampant flaming, outright trolling and stuff like that. A dev that works on, say, like environment design, doesn't have the time to go flick through 80 pages of that and then get back to whatever else he's doing. So I look at that for E3 and stuff. When you naturally, when you open things to public, it's just different. E3 was just way more of a straight up news forum, news source. The industry giants come, announce their stuff, and go their way. And honestly, if it takes a business as usual approach, cool. We've got more than, I'm with you on that, because we've got conventions, we've got streaming and everything else. Like, there's so many events year round that people can go to. Just kind of leave E3 as its thing.
Yeah, I just I just want it to be what it is, a week long of news dump.
Yep.
And that's what it should be. Trailers and stuff about consoles and stuff about games and sprinkle in a couple TV and movie things, whatever, as long as they're related to said games. I mean, but it just, you start going online and looking for news on an item, and it's just filled with garbage.
Yeah.
And trash. It's like, I just want the freaking news. Just give me the news. I just want to find out about the next The Last of Us 2. I just want to find out about that. No, what am I doing? I'm looking at 50 cosplayers who dressed up like Joel. I wasn't looking for that.
Oh man. No, I can't help it. So,
Yeah.
what do you
Stop
guys
it.
what do you guys think about E3? Hey, look, we'd love to hear some of your thoughts and comments about it. Open to the public, not open to the public. Do you like what it's done recently? Do you not like what E3's become? Hey, let us know right down in the comment section below.
Just put a robot out there.
Yeah.
One of those robot commentators and just have him on. Boom. Done.
That's
Just
all
put
it takes.
just one of those boring Asian robot newscasters. Just put it out there, and that's all I want because there's so much stuff. And that's the thing is that there's already so much stuff coming out of E3
Oh yeah. Oh,
that
yeah.
I don't need to get distracted by which vendor had the best corn dog at E3 this year.
I agree. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. So, all right, we're gonna put the gaming news on halt there, and that's all I got for that. But it's time for an info minute. Chris, what's the weirdest thing you've ever seen an AI do?
You gotta start giving me these questions beforehand.
I know. I'm just railroading you with these,
The
right?
weirdest thing, like in real life, or like in a game, or in a movie,
I've any one of them.
any one of them. I would have to say probably what's infuriated in me the most in AI, which you even see now. We complained about this for Soul Calibur as well, but to a different extent, fighting games in the 90s, the super hard AI was just cruel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was more
Yeah.
button reading than anything.
Oh, the controller reading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that if you what sticks out to me, yeah, fighting games being assholes because limited ability to actually give it quality AI, so it had to.
AI is something that we get in all shapes and forms. I mean, for gaming, the stuff that just pissed us off to no end, bosses you couldn't beat or whatever else, all the way to the stuff we have today, for in the electronic area, in the PC area. There's one a very specific one that I wanted to look at here. I thought deserved to be highlighted. Now, this has been a story in The Verge and a few other spots, but it's frankly pretty disturbing. This is about a site too. It's called thispersondoesnotexist.com. All one word. If you guys want to go check that out. Basically, uses an algorithm uses an AI to generate endless fake faces of people who don't exist.
Oh my god!
It's the ability for this stuff to happen. Look, it's not as far as all the intricate nuts and bolts behind it isn't quite a mainstream thing, but this is a spot you can go if you just want to look at a quick and persuasive education on how ridiculous this stuff is. Yeah. So who made this stuff? So the site's created by his name is Philip Wong. He's a software engineer at Uber. He uses research that he actually released last year by a chip designer from NVIDIA to basically create an endless stream of fake portraits. The whole algorithm behind it, it's trained on this big data set of actual real images, and then it uses a sort of neural network to actually fabricate brand new, images, brand new examples of people. So the idea behind it is each time you hit refresh on the site, the network is going to generate a new facial image from scratch. This is actually a quote from Philip himself. He says, "Most people do not understand how good AIs will be at synthesizing images in the future." I looked at this, and this stuff raises, I think, a lot of questions. It creeps me out, to be honest. I don't like it. I don't like the idea for it. You can see, like, all right, I want to create a stock photo of this certain action, or maybe a next to my article or story or something like that. Okay, I get that, but the rest about it, I don't know, man. I think it could very well is one of those things that could become a slippery slope. So,
I think that might be a little misleading.
yeah.
I'm sure it's altering these images and
Right.
changing their faces a little bit, which is ultimately doing what he's saying it is. But these are real photos. It is not generating a whole new. I'm on here right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is taking, in most cases, actual photos and altering the faces.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, I'd say I'm a pro at Photoshop. I can tell, and
Right.
and even in some cases you can see where things are not right.
Right.
Like this one, like I get a picture of a kid right now. I can see that there's, I mean, this would almost be diagnosed as a disorder.
Sure. Sure.
What's going on between his two eyes here at the bridge of the nose. And this is the first one that doesn't look like it's just fine, though, but that's after looking at about 15 since you were talking about it.
Right.
Because you didn't give me any information about this beforehand,
No, I
so I
didn't.
didn't have a chance to check this out. But yeah, I mean, this is fair enough. It is, quote unquote, generating a new face every
Right.
time, but it's altering faces is
Right.
what it's really doing. It's not really creating brand new people.
Right. It's almost sort of like a merge, if you will. You know,
Yeah.
if you pull from a database certain features and things like that to basically pull into, you know, a photorealistic quality and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and there's only been a couple. There was another one where they screwed up on the eyes pretty bad. One, it looked like this person was cross-eyed, and not just kind of cross-eyed, but like seriously cross-eyed.
how different do you think it would be if you didn't, if you weren't, it wasn't like you and I, people like if we're looking at this with an untrained eye, like,
Most of these are pretty good. You know,
right,
I'm obviously focusing on, well, here's what's wrong with it. Most of
right,
these are pretty good. You know, that being said, to get a true comparison, I would need to actually see the original photo, because all these I would assume are coming from a primary photo and altering things from there and pulling things from a database, leveling out the skin levels and such, making things that are in appropriate spaces. I think a lot of these would fool people. A lot of these would fool me if I didn't know any better.
sure,
There are some times where you can tell there's things are the least, just a tiniest bit unrealistic, and like I said, there is the occasional deformity in
right,
these images, but it's still impressive as hell overall.
yeah, yeah, to have it just auto generating something you can just
Yeah,
refresh over and over. So it's
none
gonna
of these people are real.
no, you're in the Matrix, well, or not,
Kind of.
kind of, sort of. So. All right, people, that is going to bring us to the end of another Jagged Edge. I want to thank you for hanging tough. Thank you for listening. Of course, hey, stay tuned right here on our channel, not just for our weekly show, but for our movie reviews, our gaming coverage, and everything else in between. Hey, likes and subs go a whole long way, a really long way, in helping us keep doing what we love to do. So hope to see that there. If you guys are enjoying it, hey, please let us know. Other than that, you guys, take it easy. We'll catch you again soon. Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, there anything we go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but it'd be great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksongmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Yeah, who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.